Hey everybody in Twitchland, Carlos A.S. Lysing. Welcome to the first Betrayal again tonight. We've got my good friend, my best friend over here, Jeremy Brazil, our player, who will be playing Rainmar the Wildlight tonight. The champion of the Hellenes. Rainmar, how you doing, brother?
Living the dream, man, as always. Just preparing myself to further explore this temple of mine.
Awesome. We'll discuss a little bit for those of you out there who haven't caught Jeremy's show here, part of the show in a little bit. But before we get into that, I want to take care just very briefly of a little bit of Castle Entertainment business, because we've got a lot going on right now. For those of you who are members of our Patreon, thank you as usual. I really appreciate it. You guys are the ones that are helping me drive the bus here with funding at all the modules and everything, and that has borne fruit. Again, I'm finishing up in the next 2 days our newest module, which is called To the Temple of the Elder Gods, or excuse to the City of the Elder Gods. Sorry about that. And it is it's pretty crazy of a module. It's the first of another 3-part module series I'm doing. So I hope you guys all like that. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be playtesting that live on Twitch as usual. And speaking of playtests, the other piece of business I'd like to talk about is From Dark Roses, Black Thorns Grow. And that is a Castle Entertainment project, as some of you may or may not know. We are, because of the of COVID and coronavirus, everything like that, usually we do our playtesting at conventions. Well, we're not able to do that right now, so I'm doing live playtesting on that. This one should have been released at GaryCon, and I hope everybody really likes it. I've got an all-star group of players for it, and it'll be the newest in the Slave Lord series. And we're not able to do that. I think everybody will really dig what I've got going on for that. So that's going to be happening on Monday. Everybody tune in that you can on it. And, I expect to be really dope. Besides that, I think that's pretty much all the Castle Entertainment business I've got. I do want to talk about something else, though, right now. And, Jeremy, you're doing some adventure writing yourself right now.
Oh, geez.
Could you tell me how that's going? Could you tell me what you think?
I think I underestimated the scope of Greyhawkian gods a little bit, but no, I've tried my hand at it. I decided to use the Castle Entertainment adventure cards as kind of a template or an inspiration to write a story. And I had thrown together a little adventure card for GaryCon, the recently canceled GaryCon, and this one that I just finished yesterday, or was it day before now? I can't remember. Anyway.
They all start blending together, don't they?
It all bled together as one Sully's nightmare. But no, I expanded on what was going to be a pickup game at GaryCon. Basically, I was going to run a pickup game for some of my players that play PvP with me online, and we were all going to be at GaryCon. So I thought, what the hell, we'll do a pickup game, and we'll do something Gygaxian, we'll do something Greyhawk. Well, that didn't happen, as you know, for obvious reasons. And so I decided that, hey, I can't run it for these guys, but what I can do is expand on it. Right. And I just finished it, just sent it to you, and it is what it is.
Well, I just want to let everybody know how dope it is too. I can't imagine that Jeremy, you won't be published at some point relatively soon by Castle Entertainment. I think that the module that I'm seeing right there from you, I would have been proud to have written it myself, that adventure card. So,
Well,
having written it and read it, I thought it was like, wow, man, you have really something that I think you bring something really unique and cool to the table that I want to see in a published format. So,
well, I appreciate that.
well, the reason I'm bringing all this up publicly and live is so everybody out there that's watching, all our reviewers that'll watch, like Nazrat right now, thanks for tuning in for us, brother. I appreciate it. And for people that are going to catch us on YouTube, it's something you can expect to see in the incoming days from us. Is if I can coax it out of Jeremy, I'll do the best I can. So, so when we last left our intrepid hero, Raymar the Wildlight, it was some time ago. So I'm going to catch everybody up in the crowd on where we were at that point in time. As some of you may or may not know, the crew has, while they've been trying to help the group Procan's Eye investigate something that they found of significance in the middle of the Solnor Ocean, they've been doing some side quests. And one of these side quests that they've done is Jeremy's character, Raymar the Wildlight, has he has found a temple high in the mountains in the Rakers, and it's dedicated, as it should turn out, to some of the Greek pantheon gods, who are unknown quantities in the world of Greyhawk. It was a total surprise to anybody that it was there, and so consequently, Jeremy has been kind of glorifying it and been restoring it, and he has been picked as a champion of the Greek gods within the world of Greyhawk, particularly Hades and Persephone, to whom this temple is dedicated. He, on the last episode, actually was taken to Hades on a trip by the goddess of crossroads and witches, Hecate, who showed him a little bit of what his legacy would look like down there in the Triple Glooms. He got to meet such luminaries as Cerberus, as Hermes, and his two patrons, Hades and Persephone themselves.
Yeah.
He got a little bit more of a look at what he might be in store for him in the underworld at one point in time. At some point in time, I should say. And as he came back to the temple, the fallen temple, he actually was able to raise the fallen monk from the dead that died in the course of their exploration of it. And he's not the same as he was when he was alive. So that all these things have culminated into a point where Jeremy is wearing this helm, the helm of Apollo right now, and he is sort of the scion of the hand of the gods of the Greek pantheon right now on Oerth. And when we last left our intrepid hero, Jeremy, after your resurrection, or I should say your reincarnation is more accurate, of the monk Jonas, what would you have done?
Well, one of my initial things that I wanted to do was encourage Brother Karak to sort of reacquaint Brother Jonas with life, with not only life but life in the temple as we've been living it, because we've been there for a while now.
Yeah, when we you've been over there for about a month now.
Okay.
And over the last few days, Brother Croc has been doing that. He's reported back to you that he has noticed that the one wolf of the flame wolves within the temple, he's noticed it walking around. He's never seen it, but he can smell the burning air. He can smell the remnants of it on the ground, and every once in a while, scorch marks here and there. It seems like it's only one wolf in particular. He suspects it's the alpha of the pack that's testing the boundaries at this point. But it seems like they are a little reluctant to leave their chamber. He's not really sure why that is, but
we've left the door open.
Yes, you have.
Okay, just
yeah, you left the door open, and In the meantime, I would imagine that you've been training with Asperion this entire time, yes?
Yeah. One thing I want to say about the Flame Wolves, if I can't get them to come out of that chamber, I want to start leaving their food at the end of that hallway outside where their comfort zone is.
Okay.
To try to encourage them out into the temple.
You've been feeding them, the way that you guys have been feeding them has generally been by using the bowls in the temple as a means of restoring food and giving them fresh meat and things like that. So that's worked pretty well so far for your group. What ends up happening is when you put their food outside and kind of are trying to lure them out of it a little bit, they won't come out until you're gone. And once you're gone, it seems like the alpha comes out, takes something, and pulls it back.
Drags it back in. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty prototypical canine behavior.
Right.
Okay, it's a start anyway. Right. So we'll baby step.
Are you at any point in time going to actually approach them, or are you going to leave them to their own devices for the most part?
They're already pretty familiar with Brother Karak and Norik.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing the hunting and grabbing a deer and feeding them and stuff. So
I need you to roll me a percentage dice, Jeremy.
Yeah. Might as well get these out of here now because it's time. We have a 63.
Norik, at one point, this is early in the morning. You've woken up probably, you've had breakfast, you've woken up, you've done a little bit of stretching, you played a little bit. Just keep your hands good. Just getting because your concentration hasn't necessarily been so much on your music, so you've made it a point every morning to kind of play a little bit and get keep your hands. Norik approaches you, and in halting Greek, he says to you, "Boss, I got something I think you should see."
Okay, lead the way.
Yeah. You might want to grab your gear.
Okay. I grab my...
I don't think this is necessarily too dangerous, but you never really...
I'll grab the spear that Asperion gave me.
Right.
I'm wearing the helm, and I'm carrying one of the blades... And the other one, Monty is carrying.
The helm over the last week has really not given you much in terms of feeling or anything like that. Asperion is of the belief that it's sulking. That it doesn't like the fact that you've moved over, that you've thrown your lot in with Hades and Persephone, and it's a little pissy, is what his thoughts are.
So. How does that change its function?
It doesn't really. What it does, though, is it doesn't give you those emotional feelings, those vibes that you were getting before. It just kind of isn't saying anything really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of uncommunicative right now.
I had a chore for Brother Karak and for Brother Jonas, and I had asked Brother Karak at one point to clean out the rubble and straighten up that one room, just to empty it. Yeah. It was like an alcove.
Right, and that process has been completed. That was the alcove with the rags that were in there previously, correct?
It had rubble in it.
Yeah, rubble and rags, yes. He's completed that process. He's asked you where you want him to put the waste material at.
For now, let's put it in Dimitri in my room.
He nods. And he says, he tells you, at some point, if we're going to stay here very long, we should consider the defensibility of this place.
I'm working on it.
He nods.
What I would like Brother Karak and Brother Jonas to do is find themselves outside and make sure that they do the proper prayers to Zanye.
Yeah, Brother Karak we'll have a little more dialogue with you on that on the side, and we'll finish this up before we go to what the orc is taking you to. Brother Croc pulls you aside at one point during that week and says, "We need to talk about Brother Jonas."
Okay.
Kind of sighs a bit. He says, "You know, he's having trouble.
Trouble with what?
Many things."
Have I witnessed this at all, or is?
No, because he's kind of wanted to be on his own to do things.
Okay.
He says, Brother Croc says, he's losing his faith in Zanye. He feels as if he's turning his faith over to Hades and Persephone. But more than that, he's got his body isn't the same as it was before. His technique, he's almost having to relearn everything.
Well, Zanye is important to us, brother.
The only reason I tell you this is because, first, he won't listen to me as far as the dogma of Zanye goes, because he thinks that I'm not objective. He thinks that I'm going to try and push on him because that was our faith, and he knows that I care for him. He's a brother. I've known him for many years. I don't think he's going to listen to me. He's going to listen to you, though. But more than that, if we were to be attacked right now, he would be useless to us. His technique is just too poor.
Well, I want you to present him with this important fact. What I've done and what I will continue to do is provide allies for Zanye. And I believe that Hades and Persephone represent the balance of light and dark, which is Zanye. And you've said the same to me before.
I do. This is why I do not balk at your orders. I understand what we are trying to accomplish here, and I think that what we are learning here is that many of the gods, they may be the same.
I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, Brother Karak, many dreams I have had of Sister Audomina returning to us. And when she does, we must represent Zanye appropriately.
He nods. I will speak to him again then, but do not be surprised if he asks for your ear.
I'm comfortable with that. It is because of me that he was pulled from the other side, and I understand that.
He nods. This is a strange place that we find ourselves in, Brother Imar.
It is.
Blessed by light and darkness, he nods and turns around and walks away.
Do me a favor and tend to that alcove. I want the walls washed down because I'm going to begin carving tonight.
No, it's okay. Okay, he says, do you want me to see if I can scare up some tools?
I know that there would be some here in the temple somewhere.
Yeah, I would think so, too. I think that you would find them downstairs, maybe?
Perhaps you may also find them in Demetrios' old room.
Oh, good. Yeah, good idea. I'll go and take a look.
Okay.
Okay, now going back to Norik. Norik takes you outside the temple, up the stairs. Takes you about maybe 500 yards over to where the mountain ridge is, near where you fought the orcs to come up here in the first place. He gets down on one knee and points at the ground. Says, see this?
What am I looking at?
Nothing. All you see is a little bit of dusting of snow. Because the elevation, obviously, there's a little bit of snow here, despite the fact that you're just in mid-autumn.
Norik, what am I looking at?
You're looking at somebody who's trying to cover their tracks. I've been here long enough to know how the snow looks over here. there's a scouting party of some kind that's looking after us. I don't know who it is or what it is, but there's something that keeps. It's not just once. If you look over there, points over at a tree. He says, "You see the way that tree's bending over there?
Mm-hmm.
I know this area like the back of my hand. That tree was straight as a rail the other day. Okay, now there's something that put weight on that thing and bent it over there." Now, Rainmar, something you're noticing about Norik: the more he hangs around you, the less full-on orcish he's becoming. He is, and the more his intellect is starting to show through. The fact is that he's actually very intelligent for an orc. The problem is that he's just hanging around with those other orcs so much, they're kind of, water finds its level.
Sure.
There was an expectation of him. But now that he's with you, he's kind of learning things, and his brain is expanding, it seems like. He seems more capable every day to you.
Yeah, I think his actual intelligence rank is higher than mine.
It is, actually, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I'm noticing that was over there and it's bent. And I kind of looked around. It seems like they're circling. They're not coming from that direction or the ridge. They want us to think they are, but I think they're circling around.
Okay. Then let's well, what do you want to do about this? Do you suspect that it's orcs?
No. Because the orcs would have set a trap right over here. He points over at the ridge. He said, and also, knowing the orcs of this area, they're not this smart. They would have attacked by now. They would have sent one or two parties, tops, and then they would have moved in. Whoever this is a little smarter than that. They're collecting information. I think that they were probably watching Karak and Jonas when they were out here doing their exercises or whatever. I don't know. He says, but I do know one thing. Whatever it is, I think it has sharp senses. Because if you look over here, he points out at the way the wind is pulling. He says, they're making sure they're upwind. Or they're downwind of us. So that way they can get our scent, but they're not giving away theirs. So whatever it is, I'm figuring it hunts by scent. And then whatever it is, I'm also thinking there's a few of them. There's at least 3, maybe 4.
Okay. Let's start having regular rotations of guards. I don't want you to guard the entryway to the temple. I want you to guard further back. The
pillar room, right?
Yeah, just back one. We're going to trap the front of the temple. Not to harm anybody.
Now you're talking my language. How you want me to trap?
We're not going to try to harm anybody, but we're going to try to have an alarm of sorts.
Okay. Well, that's fun.
I don't necessarily want to kill whatever's coming in yet.
Yeah. Well, they don't necessarily want us alive, though, either. So, just throwing that out there, boss. But whatever it is, I figure it's probably going to be here at night. So, if we're going to have a guard, maybe it should be you and me at nighttime.
And Monty.
Oh, for sure. Maybe you could convince one of the wolves?
Well, I'm due to talk to them.
Right. Hey, by the way, I saw one of them wandering around the other day. Or at least I saw the evidence of them wandering around. This time they got as far as, where those stairs going down are?
Mm-hmm.
It got that far. Seems like it stopped. Looks like it was sniffing around, probably left.
Okay.
Not real sure what to make of it. I feel like they're just testing it. They're trying to make sure that. I mean, you got to remember they've been in there for what? How many 100 years?
Let's set up some tripwires here at the entrance of the temple, and something for entanglement. I want to slow down whatever's closing, and I want an alarm. I want noise that alerts us to their presence.
I'll tell you what. How about I grease the steps? I could make them slippery.
You can do that too.
And because that way, anything that's up there it's going to make a clatter as it comes down. I'll make the tripwire not at the mouth, because they could find it that way. I'll put it a little bit back so when they slip, they'll trip it, and they'll fall down there. We'll hear them, make a huge clatter, that kind of thing. What do you think?
Put something at the statue right at the front of the temple as bait, something of value. I pull out a couple of gold and some fetishes and suggest baiting people to that area.
I'll put it in one of the iron bowls we found too, and I'm sure that'll attract them. I'm sure if they have any idea what this place is, that'll lure them in for sure. Not one of the important ones, obviously, but just a bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, by the way, there was one last thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that is by that door, where you go towards, you take a left to go to talk to Asperian.
Yeah.
I ain't heard it in a while. It's awful quiet in there. I don't know if it's just, it's like your helmet and it's just pissed off right now or whatever, but something to think about.
I want you to finish trapping and greasing the front of the temple.
Yeah.
And meet me in Demetrios' old study. I have to go talk to the wolves.
Yeah, well, good luck. Don't get burned. We ain't got any healers here exactly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Well, aside of that Eric's kid, but I ain't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he's a bit of a ghost sometimes.
Well, yeah, I don't know where he is, but I figure there might be secret passages or something in this place, because it seems like he can just disappear and appear whenever he wants. It's weird. But anyway, you take care, be careful in there. I'll let you know when I'm done.
I'm going to gather together, so I'm going to go talk to the wolves. I'm going to bring them their food.
Oh, one last thing.
Yeah.
Adio, Philos.
Great. Nice work.
He grins.
Make sure you practice the writing, too.
Oh, man, the writing is hard. He goes, they use the letters mean sounds. It's nothing like Orcish, where we just use symbols that mean things. This is totally different. This is like every letter means a sound, and
the difficulty is the reason why we study.
Yeah, I know. You keep telling me that. I'm trying my best. I'll figure it out. You walk away from him and you start heading over to where the wolves are.
Yeah, I'm taking their food. Their food for the day with me.
Okay. You start walking back to the towards the that hallway, and as you get to the hallway, you see that scorch mark on the ground where Brother Jonas died originally. You can smell the heat, the smoke back there now. Now that you know what to look for, you're starting to you get probably about maybe 50 feet down away from the door at the end of that hallway, and you hear the alpha from the back start chuckling. Someone else who wants to get burned?
Someone else who's bringing you your food as promised.
Quiet. You start to see the flicker of firelight in the darkness. And then you see as it comes around the corner. It's so creepy because in the darkness of the temple, it's got this, it looks like literally just this wolf made completely out of fire licking up in the air. You can smell the smoke. It looks over at you with its burning eyes. Just kind of looks at you kind of almost suspiciously a bit. Well, come into the lair then.
How deep into that lair are they?
They're at the back, which means that they're about 30 feet into it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll walk to the back and
you see them there. All the wolves there. They're looking at you. I need you to make me a 20, please.
20. 4.
The wolves look much less emaciated than they did before. They're all starting to fill out a bit. They're looking a little bit healthier. As you walk in, you get that vibe right away of mistrust, but also of curiosity. Like they're not really sure what you want yet, but they know you want something.
Well, Yeah, but what they would sense from me is pretty genuine.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm
I mean,
just telling you what
yeah,
they're. You can tell that they got there's that vibe there that they don't know quite what to expect.
yeah. So, well, I want to get them fed, but I want to go deeper into the lair, and I'm going to sit down on the ground with them, take off the helm so that they can see me again, and I'm going to toss their food to them individually, feeding the alpha first.
Alpha is tearing into it. What you notice is as you're doing this, they're all kind of watching you, and but as the alpha feeds, they're all most of them kind of collect around the food, but there's one of them that really doesn't seem all that interested in it. Instead, he almost is kind of using them as a distraction, so it can kind of curl around in the other direction, and it kind of starts to sniff at your foot while you're sitting on the ground.
Huh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Male or female?
Female.
Um, I ask her name.
She looks over at you. She says, "My name is Garrick."
I'm Rainmar.
You smell like another wolf, one that does not burn.
That would make sense. I have a wolf companion.
Not, not exactly what I mean. I know that one. You smell like a wolf that does not burn.
Well, I do spend a lot of time with you guys.
Chuckles a bit. Garrick, though Alpha says. Just kind of glares at her. Kind of turns around, runs away from you. Comes over. The Alpha kind of looks at you. Okay. They start eating. You start feeding them. The Alpha, is once he's done feeding, comes over and looks at you. And says, "Why?"
Why what?
Be plain. We've been locked in here for 300 years. One of yours is dead because of our area. And yet, you feed us. You've opened the door. Do you not fear what you should fear?
Well, maybe I believe that you were not properly honored.
Kind of squints a little. You want something. You always want something, all of you. Are we to be guardians this time again?
Do you not already guard the temple? Is it not your home?
It's been forced onto us, yes. Every time he whispers or says something, you see the little rolling of flame out of the corner of his mouth, kind of licking the smoke kind of rising out. The rest of the wolves are eating.
I believe that you've been poorly cared for.
Kind of slits his eyes a bit. And you would care for us, hmm?
Since I've been here, have I not?
I cannot deny that. We have never seen one made of flesh that acts like you.
That doesn't surprise me.
The other ones, we can smell the fear on them. Every time they see us. Fear.
But that's not honor.
No. But it is respect. And if you cannot demand honor, you demand respect.
When you first arrived here, did they tell you that this was your quarters?
No. They locked us in here because we would not obey their commands. They thought, the fools thought that they could command and control us. You cannot command and control fire.
No. And why would you want to?
It nods. You seem to have some sense, Fleshling. This is good.
I would like to see you guys roam the halls of this temple once more and not be bound to this prison.
So would we. Lately I have wandered from its bounds to see what sort of snares or traps have been left for us. I have been surprised.
Surprised that there are no snares or traps?
Indeed, it nods.
You appear to be intelligent.
It looks at you. It says, "Do not think that you can find your way to my heart with flattery. I have heard many honeyed words from fleshlings."
So have I.
It looks at you and it says, "Garrick is pregnant. You know that?
And
Soon there will be more of us."
I certainly hope so.
Slits its eyes again like you just confused the hell out of it.
Whatever she needs to make it through the pregnancy healthy, you come talk to me about.
Hey, Birdkeeper, thanks. Yeah, it is intense. He's right now, if you just tuned in, he's talking to a bunch of hellhounds, a pack of hellhounds within this temple. Looks at you, says, "I will do that. You still reside down the hallway. Yes.
I'm in the quarters of Demetrios, who has left
I will
us.
find you when I need you. I can smell you, wolf that does not burn."
If there's any combat, she should not be involved.
Agreed.
Because I think in 300 years, these will be the first of your offspring that you will not have to devour to survive.
Our pack would be larger, stronger.
Which means...
Are you certain this is what you wish?
Are you certain that you'll defend our home?
Ah, so we will be guards.
It's not a job if it's your home.
And a home is different than a prison. I see what you say, Fleshling.
Yeah. And if you are as intelligent as I think you are, you'll know that I'm probably the best friend you'll ever have. And I walk out.
You turn around and you walk out. You can smell the burning. You start to hear whispers in the background. They sound like the sounds of rushing flames interchanging. Some of it sounds angry, some of it doesn't. Some of it sounds like pleading. Some of it sounds... It's hard. You can get emotion out of it. It's a very emotional language, whatever they speak. But it's not really intelligible to you.
I'll put the helm back on. And... I want to go down and speak with Brother Karak and Brother Jonas and meet up with Norit.
Okay. You put on your helmet, and you get no emotional sensation from it. You go over to where Brother Karak is. Brother Karak right now is in the main temple area, where the back wall grows with the hummingbirds and the bees. He's there with Brother Jonas. Brother Jonas looks over at you and smiles. He seems like I said, he seems like a totally different person. He says, "Hail, Rainmar. It's good to see you."
Brother Jonas
walks up to you and gives you a clap on the shoulder. He says, "What brings you to our training grounds?"
Where are they at in the temple?
They're over in the main area where the whole back wall is overgrown with the vines.
Oh,
where you brought him back to life.
Got it.
He looks over at you, smiles. He seems a lot happier than before. He seems a lot less preoccupied. He seems like freer of heart, almost. He says, "Today is a good day for new beginnings, my friend."
It is. How's your appetite?
Not bad. He thinks about it for a second. He says, I've grown quite fond of pomegranates." He smiles and kind of chuckles. Looks over at the bowl in the back.
I can see how that might happen.
Yeah. He says, "Well, I owe a great deal to the Queen of Pomegranates, as it should turn out."
Brother Jonas, you owe a great deal to Zanye.
"I do." He nods. "I respect the Mistress of Light and Darkness greatly."
And it is my belief that when Sister Artemina returns to us, she will identify Hades and Persephone.
Hey, thanks, Birdkeeper Row. We appreciate it, brother. Continue.
She will respect Hades and Persephone as the light and dark of Zanye.
He thinks about it for a second.
There's nothing to think about.
Are you familiar with the sensation when you know something to be true and yet you can't believe it?
Perhaps.
Then you know where I stand.
Jonas,
I feel disconnected. I don't. It's not that I don't want to believe. It's not that I don't want to feel that way. I just can't.
Jonas, let me...
And there's so many other things going on. I'm working on my technique. My technique is terrible. My arms, they're different. My hands are different. He shrugs his shoulders. I'm just different now.
Well, that stands to reason. You got pulled from the other side.
He nods. Well, he shrugs his shoulders and just kind of looks at you and says, "Well, I have much soul searching to do still. But as I said, today is the day for new beginnings. Perhaps today is the day that I begin back on that track."
Okay. I pulled you back from the other side to help me.
Have I not done as you've asked?
Fair enough. I want you to continue practicing. And I want you to study these diagrams. And I provide him with some copies of pages from my journal.
He looks at them. What are these?
You'll know as you study them deeper, their meaning will reveal itself to you.
He nods. I will do that. He looks at the pages. I'll study them and I'll report back to you as soon as they come of some consequence to me.
I would like you to copy them into your own journal.
Oh, I see.
As a process of studying them.
Oh, I will do that then.
Brother Jonas, I believe that this will help you find your way.
Well then. This can't be a bad thing then.
No. Brother Karak, can I speak with you, please?
Of course, he nods. And walks away. Brother Karak walks over with you, and you guys end up over in the area that's cleared out, that alcove. He looks at you and he says, "I told you, it was difficult."
Well, I believe that anyone who's experienced what he has experienced would have a similar response.
He says, "This is different." He says, I don't even know how to approach someone that has come from beyond the grave. I mean, in my culture that I was born into, we did not believe in such things, and I've never encountered it as in my second culture, my adopted culture. So I am on unsteady ground.
So is Brother Jonas.
He nods, very much so.
Brother Karak, has Norik informed you as to the problem he believes is before us at the opening of the temple?
Very much so, yes. He told me about it not too long ago. I'm eager to see what will come of this. He says it almost as if they're waiting for something, sensing weakness, perhaps.
Well, we have plenty of weakness.
He nods, but we have plenty of strength, too.
Brother Karak, the room which houses the Chimera has gone silent.
You thank the mistress for small blessings, then, He kind of laughs a little bit. He goes, would you prefer it the other way around?
What I would prefer is that you get Brother Norik. We're going into that room.
Right now?
Right now.
Takes a deep breath. Very well, then. Then we go now. I'll go get Norik. Maybe you should think about taking Asperian.
Can Asperian even...
He's never left that room that you know of.
I'll run it by him. I'll tell him what my plan is.
Okay, you go over to Asperian's room. When you find him, Asperian is doing what he usually is doing. He's working on his equipment. It almost seems like as a ghost he's bound to do that repeatedly until he's being actually interacted with. As you come in the room, he's working on his spear technique. He looks over at you, kind of sits up in a centurion's stance, smiles at you. He says, welcome, Brother Rainmar. Have you come for more lessons, then?
I've come because I intend to enter the room with the Chimera today.
He kind of pauses for a moment. This is something you will challenge yourself with, then,
Now I'm seeking your counsel as to how to proceed.
Well, let me tell you about the Chimera. He says, when we first brought her here, she was not unfriendly to Dimitros. You see, she was aboard a ship at sea. And Brother Dimitros, I believe, cast some sort of spell upon her to make her friendly. The same with the wolves. Otherwise they would have burned our boat to the bottom of the ocean. The Chimera would have destroyed us. But it's hard for me to tell what's happened to that spell since. She's certainly not friendly, because once she got here and she got in that room, she was prized for her ferocity, you see. I think whatever spell was compelling her, he dismissed. Now she's been in that room for 300 years. I would imagine she's angry, hungry. She's probably the only reason she's alive is because she's managed to, her immortal nature has made it so that she isn't starved.
Is there any chance, any hope of making her an ally?
Is there any chance of making a thunderstorm an ally? I think not. I think what is best is to find out how to use it to your advantage. You know?
The artifacts that are in that room, what can you tell me about them?
This is something that Dimitros kept very secretive. I know that they were holy relics, but to whom they were consecrated, I would imagine that they were consecrated to Hades, Persephone, and Persephone, but it's difficult to tell what they might do. I will say this. You're a man that has destroyed with your own hands the Minotaur in his maze. You're
Yes.
a man that has tamed wolves of fire. You're a man that has brought life to this temple once more. You have gone into Hades and emerged unscathed. What do you truly have to fear?
As soon as he puts the period on that sentence, I walk off.
You see him kind of sit back down and kind of smile to himself and starts working on his
That's-
beer again
that's-
as you walk away.
That's about the only motivation I need. Is there any notes from Demetrios or any knowledge whatsoever about what a chimera eats or what its weaknesses are or anything like that?
No, actually, the only notes that were in anything that you saw in there is there's a chimera in that room. Don't let anybody in.
And the chimera, the implication here is that the chimera is guarding the artifacts in that room.
Correct.
So what if I go in there and I don't try to take the artifacts?
I don't know. Think about it this way. Make me a 20, please.
7.
When Sister Aramina ended up in that room, she wasn't trying to get artifacts, and she was almost slain. The only thing that saved her was running into the back of the room behind that secret door.
I need to see it for myself. I need to see the room for myself.
Okay.
I want Norik and Brother Karak with me. I'm not going to expose Brother Jonas to combat. And I don't want Monty in there. In point of fact, I'm going to tell Monty to stay with Brother Jonas.
Brother, Monty, this entire time, has been kind of at your heels a lot. Monty is now about the bottom of your rib cage tall.
Okay.
She's got a black lustrous coat. She's got those burning green eyes. And she looks at... Her English, or her common, I should say, has gotten even better than it was previously, to the point where she can actually make full sentences.
Okay.
And when you tell her that you want to leave her behind, she says, dangerous. I come with.
Damn it.
I'm a warg, like you said. I'm fierce. I can help. Kind of nuzzles up against her leg a little bit. I won't let whatever is behind the door hurt you.
Well, I was more concerned with it hurting you.
I am a warg, and I am fierce, it says again.
She's armored still?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've had to let it out several times. Now it's almost cartoonish, because you've had it's kind of unbalanced everything. It's more like almost a ridge across the middle of her back that is kept on by the straps. You're going to have to find somebody else to let leather work something new for her.
I need to expand it, yeah.
But however, the sword is still kept on it pretty well.
Right, the sheath has a different... I got it. Okay. Okay, let's...
Karak comes back over to you. You kind of meet him in the first foyer. He's coming downstairs right now with Norik, and Norik's like, "Are you sure this is what he wants?" He looks over at you when he sees that. I hear we're going to see our friend.
I just realized that I want to confer with the Flame Wolves.
He looks over at you. Should we come for that too?
Yeah, let's move.
All right. All four of you, Karak, Monty, and Joan, and Norik, all walk down the hallway. You start heading towards the wolves. You can start to hear those whispers of flame back and forth. You can tell that the helmet knows what they're saying, but it is not telling you what they're saying.
I present my question to the Alpha.
Okay. You walk into the room, and before you get to the door, Norik looks, he goes, we all coming in the room with you, or are we standing outside?
Stand outside.
Got it. Hello, wolf that does not burn.
Greetings once again today. I'm here for counsel.
It looks a little surprised. Indeed. Then speak.
Today I will walk into the Chimera's den.
Pauses for a moment. Is the Chimera still ensorcelled?
Not according to Asperion.
It just comes out in this log of laughter that kind of billows out in flame in front of its face. Smoke pours out the sides of its mouth into the air.
Okay.
Then it seems that we will find a new caregiver soon. This is unwise, fleshling.
If I should fall to the Chimera, I would ask that the four of you defend the temple in my absence.
They all look between each other. The Alpha just doesn't look back at them. You did not have to tell us that. You've come for another reason.
Have I indeed?
You know that we will defend our territory no matter what.
Are you being clever right now?
Perhaps. Are you?
Not so much, but I would love to hear your insight.
If you go into that room with the ones behind you that want to hide but stand out in the darkness, you will need more than you. If the Chimera wishes to kill you, you'll need many. It looks behind it.
You know how to fight a Chimera.
They are difficult prey, but they are not unknown in our home.
I accept.
It looks
However,
behind it and starts to whisper and fire. They all kind of nod along with it. Seems like they're all, none of them says anything back to it.
My instruction that the pregnant dame should not be included in combat remains.
Looks back and it says something. It says something back to the Alpha. And it just she kind of turns around and starts to walk off towards the back of the room.
Should we all fall, your legacy will remain secure.
It nods. I think the time for words is over, and the time for action is upon us.
Come, brother, show me how the wolves of fire make war.
It looks over, it says something back. And when it says it this time, the fire explodes out of the side of its mouth. Its eyes seem to burn. And they all walk in a single file right down the hallway. The other wolves kind of look back up at the rest of your group, but the main wolf just continues to walk right past them. Doesn't even look at them.
Do I interpret that as confidence?
In the case of the Alpha, it is.
Okay.
In the case of the Alpha, it is. And in the case of the other ones, they're still a little unsure of what's going on here exactly, or what your demands you're making out of them, or what you're all about. But the Alpha seems very confident. As soon as it happens, Norik looks over at you, says, "I really hope you know what you're doing, boss."
I'm not sure it's really my show anymore.
That's the last thing I want to hear.
Get your
Karak
blade.
looks, he goes, "For once I agree with Norik." He goes, "This is, let's go."
Brother Karak, Norik.
They look at you.
I didn't hold counsel with the Flame Wolves to treat them like pets.
No, perhaps you didn't, but I don't know. He just shakes his head. He says, I don't trust them at all. Not even slightly.
Am I not the playmate of Cerberus himself?
You've proven yourself. I do not doubt you. I doubt them.
Then from here forward, let your sword speak for you.
Very well then. Norik pulls out his. Let's do this, guys. He starts following the wolves. Monty doesn't say a word. She just follows at your heel the entire way over. You get to the door, and they're all gathered around the door. The Alpha is turned around and looks at you. The rest of them are the other two are looking in the direction of the door.
What's the door look like?
The door is made completely out of white marble. It's just like the other doors in here. It looks very resolute.
And with me is 3 Flame Wolves, Monty, Norik, and Brother Karak.
That is correct.
Because we walked right past him, Brother Jonas is probably aware that we're doing this.
Brother Jonas just looked at you, watched the Flame Wolves go by, saw you go by, just kind of smiled and chuckled to himself and says, he says, "May all the gods of light and darkness be with you."
Hey, I gave you an assignment. Focus.
Yeah, I'm focused.
Okay,
I'm
good man.
focused.
You're in charge. You're in charge until we get back.
Right. You guys walk up past the door.
And if we don't make it back, make sure you feed the Flame Wolf in the den.
I don't think I have a choice. You hear his voice echo down the hall.
True story.
Either I feed her or she feeds on me.
True story.
So you're all for the door. All right. Well, I guess I'm opening it up, right? He looks over at Norik, says,
This door's already been opened before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No. The door has not been opened before. Remember. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. Sister Karani walked through, or Armina walked through it. And she walked through it previously. Patrick teleported through it.
Sister Karani, that's well remembered.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna be. So I've got the helm, the shield, and the spear.
Right.
I've got the sword, but I'm not really intending to use it because I'm thinking Grecian monster, Grecian weapons.
Right.
Right. So I'm going to give that a whirl. And you said Brother Karak is opening the door?
No. Norik said, I'll open the door. How are we going to do this? I'll open the door and let the wolves in? It is
my intention is...
The Alpha looks at you. The first thing the Chimera will do is breathe fire.
Then I suppose you're leading us.
As it should be.
I kneel down and look him right in his fiery eyes.
It looks right back at you.
It seems I'm not the alpha in this temple.
It chuckles. You can be the alpha of the fleshlings. It says. Close that when it speaks, when you say that, you can actually feel the water on your eyes drying out a little bit.
That's awesome. Okay. So Norik opens and the flame wolves are primary through the door.
As soon as Norik goes 1, 2, 3 and opens up the door. As soon as he opens up the door, this is what you see. This dark space beyond the door. It's this voluminous area. And as soon as the wolves run in there, it's like torchlights. 3 torchlights running in there. And you can see legs rising up into the air. But because of the way that the frame of the door is, you can't see. All you see is legs. This thing must be massive in there. Massive. They run in there, and the first thing you see is this huge explosion of fire. About maybe 15 feet inside the door. This wash of fire rains down from above.
Is it safe to say that the Chimera has grown too large to leave through the door?
That is exactly what is going on here. Now you know why the Chimera has never broken out of here.
Well, this would be like a mercy killing if we could,
It's too big. It comes, the rain of fire rushes down upon it, these things, and you hear the wolves laughing maniacally as it washes down upon them. Roll me a 6-sider for initiative.
Can I ask a question pre-initiative?
Of course you can.
Do I see the artifacts described by Demetrios?
Yes. As you get close to as you're looking into the door and the torchlights get close, you can see on the other side of the room. The other side of the room, the room's about 50 feet big on each side. Okay.
Okay.
And on the far side of the room, you see a small table, and it's got to be where they are on top of it. It's like a pedestal.
Okay. 4.
Okay. Monty gets a 1. Karak gets a 2, adjusted to a 5. And Norik gets a 2. So you said you got a 4?
Yeah.
Okay. And the Chimera gets a 6. Awesome. Okay. This is what you see. Through the doorway, through the open frame of the door, you see the Chimera bend down. This face that, again, through the pane of the doorway, it is actually bigger than the door. This head comes down and snatches one of the flame wolves in its teeth. This dragon head comes down, and you hear it bite down. And as it bites down, fire explodes out the sides of its mouth. You hear something crack and break inside of this wolf. The wolf howls out in pain. It falls to the ground in half, in 2 pieces, burning on the ground. The other head, one of the other heads, I should say, cranes down and looks like it wants to headbutt the other one. It comes down with these goat head, black horned ram, hits the ground. Splinters of marble go flying everywhere, these shards in this rain, but it misses the wolf. The wolf kind of yips as it runs around its leg. It looks like the alpha and the wolf are trying to run behind it a bit. Norik kind of glances over at you like, oh my god, when he saw the other wolf get bitten in half. It's your turn, Rainmar. What will you do?
What do I see in the way of? Hang on, I was looking at the. I thought maybe the map was up.
No, not yet.
So describe to me the distance that I am from these artifacts and the.
You are about 60 feet from the artifacts right now. You have to go through the door, wind your way through chimera legs, and get to the door. Or to the pedestal. However, there is the secret door behind the pedestal you know to be there.
Well, I don't think I do know it's there.
Yeah, you do know it's there because you guys had that discussion with when Patrick was there before he flickered.
I'm going to tell Brother Karak and Brother Norik that I want them to fight from outside the door because I don't believe the Chimera can pursue them beyond it.
Yeah. Norik yells, "Move!" He goes, "Move the missiles! Move the missiles!" You see him drop his sword. He pulls out his bow, gets down on one knee, and starts getting ready to shoot. Karak drops his sword, goes to his crossbow. Monty is just at your heels still.
Am I closer to the secret door or to the artifacts?
The secret door is right behind the artifacts. So the artifacts are actually in between you and the secret door.
What are the artifacts? What do I see?
You see the silhouettes of what looks like a pair of shoes or like sandals. You see some kind of a shape like a sword, maybe. Like a short sword, he was training you. Asperian was training you in the sword. He called it a gladius before.
Okay.
And there's also something else that's laying back there, but it's hard to tell the shape of it from the shape of it.
I make a run for it.
Okay, you run into the room next after them. In this darkness, this inconsistent darkness and light from the twitchy, all you see is this motion all around you. It's very, very difficult to keep track of what is happening. Everything is this motion and fire and inconsistent light and split. Things are exploding all around you. You run into the room towards these artifacts. Monty comes chasing after you at your heel. You see, you hear arrows come whistling behind you and start hitting legs. Keep pour it on. Focus on that left side. You hear Norik yelling. He's obviously been listening a lot to you training, because Asperian, one of his beliefs is in focusing fire. So, they're all pulling that over. Now it's the Chimera's turn. The Chimera knows that that's not effective. It's going to lean down with one of its heads and bite at another of the wolves, which it does, and it misses with the dragon head. The lion head roars out deafeningly. I need you to make me a 20, Jeremy.
19. 19.
Okay. Saving throw is successful. You hear this deafening, rattling sound all throughout your body, but you continue to run through it. It almost is like it wants to shove you to the ground. The ram's head comes down. You see it hit one of the wolves and throws it into the air. It hits one of the walls, the other wall, and hits the ground. It looks like it's alive, but it's shaken up bad. Okay, you run over, and finally you're at the three artifacts. The three artifacts that are there are a pair of sandals, a short sword, and it looks like to you like a small box.
A small box?
Yeah, maybe like you would keep a violin in. Like a violin case.
Huh. Do I have time to take all three?
Yes, you could scoop all three up.
And in the same round start running for the secret door?
Yes. Well, you're right next to the secret door, so that would happen in the next round, after you scooped them up.
Do I have time to put the sandals on?
Absolutely not. You'd have to be inside the secret door to do that.
Okay, that's... Okay. I'm going to take the Is there any writing or anything that I can read in this type of lighting?
Yeah, there's a lighting. There's something written around the edge of the pedestal. Make me a 20-sider.
Good Lord. 8.
Okay. It says in writing all the way around that. It says, praise be to the messenger. Praise be to Hermes. All the way around its side, its edges.
Okay, I will dash into the secret thing.
So you're going to scoop up. You're going to scoop up the artifacts first, though, right?
Yeah, I guess if there's only those 3, it's because I can never remember what Demetrios said about it.
The second you touch those artifacts, the Chimera goes berserk.
Okay.
Berserk. It leans down its head, one of its head, it looks over at you, and breathes. First thing it does. But Monty is also with you. Monty is going to run over before it does that and try and bite its leg. And Monty sinks her teeth into its leg, and when she does, you hear her whimper a bit, because when she does, rot and fetid ichor just starts pouring out of the leg. It looks horrible. Like this infected pustule, like she just popped it with her teeth. One of the alpha breathes fire at the Chimera. Ooh, nice. The Chimera is not immune to fire. You learn now, because as it breathes, you hear the thing howl out. One of the heads of it rumbles forth. The other one that's on the ground is still dazed. Your compatriots are firing into the room, arrows left, right, and center. They're hitting, missing. You hear something whiz over your head, breaks on the far wall, a wild shot. The Chimera leans down at you, Rainmar, and breathes. I need you to roll me a 20.
20. I need a different dice because these things are so difficult to read, but that's a 15. So.
16. Take 8, please. Take 8 points of damage. You feel as it the wash of fire comes down. It just misses you enough. You have the shield out a little bit. It breaks a little bit of it, but some of it catches on your leg, just burning you a little bit. There's something about it. It doesn't seem like it just burns the flesh. It seems like it burns something deeper inside of you, like almost your spirit. It feels like it's something horrible.
Okay.
The other head roars out. This lion head. I need you to make me a 20.
20.
Okay. Again, that feeling of being almost trampled to the ground by something horrible, but you're managing to stay on your feet. You kind of just stagger a little bit forward, and now the ram's head is going to try and hit you. Which it comes so fast, you actually hear the air pressure before it hits you. It goes right over your head, smashes into the wall. Chips of granite flying everywhere. A couple of them bite into the shield. You hear them just plink off of the shield as you're running. You get to the secret door, open it up, run inside. You can hear your breathing inside of it. You hear this little dark space, almost like a closet. Outside, you hear this catastrophe of combat going on. You see the door, actually the outlines of it shape out as it gets rained on in fire again. But you're in there and you're safe behind this. You're in this cool area. Everything's calm. It's like a little 10 by 10 alcove.
And Monty came in with me?
Monty did not come in with you. Monty did not make it in there with you. She is outside still fighting the Chimera.
That's probably okay. What's in the box?
You open up the box. You open up the box, and you find out that the lid of it, when you pull it, it opens up one way. The other lid, but there's another lid underneath it that's hinged the opposite way. So you open it up the opposite way, and you realize that the area inside the box is far bigger than it should be. Inside of it is this beautiful Hellenic shield. It's gorgeous. It's almost reflective on one surface of it. And in the face of it, right in the middle, is the head of a Medusa. Long tassels on either side of it. Golden tassels come down.
Okay. I'm going to throw my shield over my back and use the Medusa shield.
Okay.
I'm going to put the sandals on.
Okay, you put the sandals on.
Is the helm telling
again,
me...
the secret door, you see it trace again with flame.
Is the helm telling me anything about this?
The helm, for the first time in about a week and a half, is giving you an emotional response.
Okay.
The response is, it's not too late to turn your back as you put the shield on. It's almost like a feeling like this is your chance to change sides if you want.
To change sides to what?
Hard to tell.
And what about when I put the sandals on?
When you put the sandals on, well, nothing seems to happen. You put your sandals on, and everything seems really calm, and everything seems really normal. And then you see the wall again, the door. It gets limned in fire, but this time when it does, you see the top of it limb in fire, and slowly, all the way around its edges, the fire trickles down, like the whole thing's in slow motion.
Okay. And the sword, anything interesting about the sword?
Yeah, you have the sword. It's just it's a beautiful, shining, looks like it's almost made of, the steel looks like it's made of silver almost, gladius. In the pommel of it is a diamond, big diamond.
Okay, I'm going to charge back into that room.
Open the door, charge back into the room. When you charge back into the room, it's absolute bedlam in this room. Okay? Monty is trying to run between its legs back and forth, almost do circles, because Monty has figured out that it can't breathe straight underneath its legs.
Okay.
One of the other wolves is dead in the corner. It looks like it's been smashed under something. The alpha is the only one left, and it is on the other side of the room opposite Monty. It looks like it's kind of trying to... It looks like it's trying to continue to goad it into breathing. As it does this, as everything is moving, everything around you is moving so slow.
Ah! Yeah.
You see, like, for example, the head, when it comes down this time, it comes down really slow and hits the ground. Chips fly up in slow motion.
Which head?
Huh?
Which head?
It's the ram's head.
I've got a 6 for initiative. Can I go?
Yes, you can go anytime you want. You get first action this round.
Do I get any bonus to hit because of the speed that everything's moving?
You're going to find out, aren't you?
I want to to try to behead it with the gladius.
Okay. You come out with the gladius, pull it out, make me a 20.
$14.
Okay. You hit it, and when you hit it, you're not sure if it's the speed at which you're traveling, the sharpness of the blade, or whatever, but when you hit the side of its neck, it bites in way deeper than it should. Like almost like a quarter of the way through through this neck that's almost a solid 7 feet thick. You hear the thing roar in pain in slow motion. Turn over to you. It's starting to turn its whole body in your direction. The head, when you bite into it, now you can see it close. This emaciated ram's head. Skin is peeling off of its bones. The black horns, which were probably once beautiful, curling back, are all chipped and they look like they're like broken obsidian now. The eyes are wild and crazed as it hits the ground. You see its eyes widen out as the blade bites into its neck. Roars on pain slow motion. When it does, you see a tongue that is just swollen and bloated.
It's undead.
You're thinking it might be.
Huh. That would explain why it's lived so long.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you hit the thing in the neck. The next thing it does...
Do I...
You get another move. Yeah, you hit the thing in the neck. It cuts into it. It does not behead it, though. You have another attack. What are you going to do?
Okay, so I'm bringing that down. Can I pull through and come straight back up on the same head?
Yes. Make me a 20.
That's an 18.
When you hit it this time, you come back through, and you hit in the same area. You feel resistance, nothing. And then you watch the head spiral over once in the air, tumble, and hit the ground next to you. Eyes wide and lifeless. The thing is roaring out in pain. Monty is running towards you in slow motion. The heads are craning down at you in slow motion. What will you do?
I have another move?
Yeah, you have another move.
Oh. What are the two heads? There's a dragon head.
There's a dragon head and a lion head.
The dragon head has been breathing fire.
Yes. But it's too high up for you to reach.
So I went like this. 1, 2.
Yep.
To take the head off.
Yep.
I'm going to drop down to one knee and try to cleave through a leg.
Okay. Drop down to one knee. Start trying to cleave through a leg. Okay, make me a 20, please.
Oh, that's a 10.
Something is happening to you. You're feeling very hungry all of a sudden. You're looking at your arms, your body. You feel like you're losing muscle mass or something.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. Monty is running towards the door right now. You cut into the leg. You hit. Make me an 8. An 8 sided.
D8. That's an 8.
Okay, the weapon digs into the leg, and when you hit it, this torrent of black blood starts rolling out of it. It's hitting the ground. It's burning the ground underneath the leg. You can hear it just sizzling and popping. Now it's its turn. The lion head roars. Make me a 20, please.
16.
Monty drops to the ground. All of a sudden, just like almost twitching a little bit. The lion head leans down and it breathes. Or the dragon head leans down and it breathes. And it's going to breathe. It's going to go all the way across all of you. I just saw what the Tenebrous hand had to say, keep the beard. Not for long, my man. Not for long. Okay. I just rolled a 20. So I need you to make me a saving throw, Raymar, please. 20, please. Ooh.
19.
What'd you say you got?
19.
Okay. Take 15.
Okay.
This one gets you along the back. It is burning bad, but it got Monty pretty square. To the point where you can smell burning fur, burning flesh in the air.
I couldn't use the shield at all?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Now, he left you open for the second cut. The heads are just crazy. The problem with the thing fighting it is the heads can come from all kinds of directions because they're coming from above. Monty's in bad shape, if not dead already.
Whose turn is it?
Yours.
How far is Monty from the door where Norik and Brother Karak are shooting from?
Probably about 25 feet.
Can I... there's only one flame wolf left.
Yep.
And I'm sure the other two are dead.
Yeah, you're absolutely positive. One of them is in two pieces. The other one is gored out.
And I'm down 8. You said 8 and 15?
Yes. 23, so you have a total of 38 normally. So now you've got, yeah, you're hurting.
Oh, but I'm moving fast.
You're moving very fast. You could scoop her and run at the same time out of the room. No problem.
Yeah, I take her to safety.
Okay. You run, grab her, scoop her, and keep running out of the room the entire way. As you're holding her, you hear this shallow breathing. Her foxfire eyes are just kind of rolled back in her head. The fur is burning. She smells like a piece of cooked meat. You run out of the room. Where are you gonna put her? Or are you gonna close the door behind yourself?
Well, I'm not locking that flame wolf in there.
Okay.
The door opens which way? It opens out.
Yes, it opens out. Karak looks over at Norik. They both nod at each other. Both of them run past you into the room and start shooting at the thing. They look over the flame, but they're like, "Come on, come on, come on!" They're yelling at it.
At the wolf.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it understands the thing that they're saying until Norik starts speaking in Greek. And when he starts speaking in Greek, it looks like it understands and starts to run to the door, too. A wash of flame hits the ground right as they're closing the door. Everybody's in the room, breathing hard. The door's closed.
All right, let's see what we can do for Monty.
As the door closes, Rainmar, out in the main room down the hallway, you hear this clattering sound. Norik looks at you like, "Oh, shit."
I'm not even going to hesitate. I've got the Medusa shield and the Gladius, and I'm pissed off right now.
You still have Bonnie in your hands?
No, I laid her down in the
Lay her
hallway.
down. Okay. You run into that main room. What you see when you run into the main room is right between the main columns laying there in the middle of the ground is this dark pelted creature. It's got like scale armor that's pieces of it it's really ramshackle. It's barely held together anywhere. It's got an axe in its hand, a hand axe in its hand. Another one is laying scattered on the ground, not far from it. It looks disoriented, and it looks up at you. It's got this long, dark face with a muzzle like a hyena's. these two pinprick eyes as it looks at you. It looks like it looks like, oh no, you've got me dead to rights. It kind of looks totally terrified more than anything. It yells up the hallway. Says, "There's a trap! There's a trap!"
What's it speaking?
Nolish, but you understand it, so you understand it.
And
Weird dialect of Nolish.
And I note that he looks similar to Brother Karak, obviously.
It looks, yes, it is definitely, well, considering your heritage, yeah.
In Nolish, I'm close enough to kill this thing?
Close enough, yeah.
In Nolish, I say, can I help you?
It looks at you like it's breathing hard. And it looks like there's a mix of emotions on its face. It says, "No, but you can help them." And it looks up up the stairway. "There are many of us. We've not come to make war with you. I'm here to see you and take you to Verak."
Verak, you say?
She's up the stairs. You can speak to Verak if you wish.
I think Verak should come in.
Starts to chuckle a little bit.
And Rainmar is just mirthless.
Rainmar, make me a 20.
Ouch, that's a 5.
The response of a knoll when they laugh, you know this because of your own heritage. It's a little like a cat's purr. Sometimes when they're in pain or they're hurt, they do it. It's like the release of endorphins does it. So it may not really even mean anything. It just might mean that it's hurt from its fall down the stairs, because it probably came a long way down those stairs.
How many are there with you?
4.
I bark up the stairwell. The 4 of you can come down, but be careful. The stairs have been greased.
It looks at you, kind of chuckling.
In Nolish.
You see silhouettes starting to make their way down the stairs. The first one that comes into the room. "Hey, Wily Hobbit. Hey, Mark. How you guys doing? You're just in time." The first one that comes downstairs has a bow in his hand. Across his back is a battle axe. His armor, the equipment condition is terrible. You'd be surprised at this bow. You're surprised his bow can actually shoot. He's looking around the temple, looks at you, kind of pauses. He has his bow out. It's not pointed at you, but it is knocked. He's got it pointed like towards the ground. The other 2 kind of walk in. The first one that walks in has this leather helmet across it covers its face, comes down, and it looks like there's like little sewings across the eyes, and it makes it almost look like a skeleton head mask. He has a staff, and it walks down on inconsistent legs, comes down the stairway. And the last thing to come down is a massive knoll. It's about 8 foot tall, black pelt, green eyes, fierce look on its face. It's got this massive flail that hangs on 3 heads, spiked heads of the flails on an end. Huge shield. On the shield, the face of it, it looks like it's been decorated with looks like a crow or something. On the shoulder of this thing, as it walks down, is a crow. Comes down the stairs, stands there and looks at you. She looks around the place. "I am Verak. It seems you've found our scout." She spits on it. thing kind of slinks away over by the pillar.
I'm Rainmar. Welcome to my home.
She nods. Looks at the others. Says, "Put your weapons down." The old one. Now that he has the staff, as it's come down out of the angle of the stairway, you can see it's actually a scythe.
Oh, okay.
Puts it down. The bowman puts his down. She still holds her flail and shield. Looks at you. "You've come to speak to you, Rainmar."
Well, welcome. However, I currently need to care for my wounded.
She looks over. "I smell burning meat. You burning. More." She looks over at the one with the scythe. She says, "Cathrar, help his wounded."
You're a healer.
Looks at you. "Sometimes." It smiles. Shows a little bit of a fang when it does that. His old the knoll, its tooth is a little bit jagged. As you see them, all of them except for Varrock look like they're they're not in very good condition. They obviously aren't eating very well. Their equipment is in real poor condition. Varrock's is not. Varrock's is actually in pretty good condition. The rest of them are in bad condition. He comes, he says, "Show me your wounded."
I lead him down the hallway to where the remaining Flame Wolf, Monty, Norik, and Brother Karak are waiting.
One of them, the knoll that had the bow, says over to Varas. He goes in Knowlish. It says, "What if he leads us into a trap?" He gets "what if he leads us" out of his mouth, and you see this hand come like a lightning bolt, hit him in the back of the head. "Speak when you're spoken to."
Good Lord.
She kind of shoves him to the side and onto the ground. Wades deeper. Says, "Kethrar, come. We will go where cowards will not."
And the
"You," she says, looks over at the other one. "Zerget, lay there like a broken one. If I hear you once laugh, your life is forfeit. Silence. Show your strength through silence." She walks behind you. She looks down at the warg. Sees the knoll. Sees Brother Karak looks at her like, "What the fuck? That thing is huge." And Noriko looks at you, looks at her, and goes, "You have the weirdest friends, man."
Are you injured?
"No, not us, but Monty's. I don't think she's gonna make it."
And what's the name of the Flame Wolf?
The Flame Wolf. You never even asked the Flame Wolf its name.
The Alpha. He had.
Yeah, the Alpha. You're just gonna refer to it as the Alpha, or are you gonna ask its?
No, I had his name. I had his name before. Anyway, I'll address him by name. Ask him if he's injured.
No, it says very just quietly. The main knoll, Varas, looks over at Karak and says, "You look ridiculous." Looks at his robes. He kind of almost looks ashamed for a second. The one with the scythe kneels down over at Mani's side. "You're not going to die yet." Puts its hands on its body. Hands are kind of trembling, you see. Old hands. Puts it down. Starts making a gesture. You see it's got a holy symbol around its neck of a skull with like a triple flail behind it that kind of forms a Y shape behind the head. Puts its hand down. You see this greenish glow start to spread out through its fingers. It looks over at you. Reaches out and touches your hand. And you see your hand starting to glow green and something rushing out through your hand into its as it holds down on Monty. You feel like something is draining out of you. Like you're becoming a little bit more tired for a second. But then all of a sudden Monty opens her eyes again. You see that green foxfire in there. The color of Monty's eyes is the same color as what's being drained out of you. Let's go of your hand.
Is she just even with conventional sight? She appears to be healed.
Healing, not all the way. She is stable. Is the best way to put her now. She's not on death's door anymore.
I put my forehead against hers and I say, "I thought you were a warg. I thought you were fierce."
It looks up at you. It says, "I'm a warg. I'm fierce." And kind of just passes out asleep.
Norik, carry her to her quarters, please.
Yeah, I got her. You see the Knoll, the Kethrar, who was holding your hand, looks up at Virthaz. It says, "It is as you said. He possesses the wild light." Of course.
So I get the feeling that they pulled something from me.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And they're also healing me.
No, not yet. They haven't.
Okay.
Not yet. They haven't. They look over at you. Varas says, "I would have words with you. What is your Knoll name?"
Excuse me?
"What is your name among our folk? I will not call you by the name given to you by those who wear skin without fur."
I look over at Brother Karak like I have never been as confused as I am right now.
Brother Karak looks at you like, "Don't ask me. I'm embarrassed for myself right now."
I tell Brother Karak that we need to demonstrate hospitality, that our guests appear hungry, and to set a table. Prepare
she
food.
Walks over. You see her just kind of look over at Karak as he walks down the hallway and looks back at you. And she says, "Were you responsible for his taming?"
I'm afraid not.
He's a disgrace.
He's
little better than a pet.
He's a hell of a fighter,
she says, almost disgusted. Well, we will see about that soon enough.
And as Brother Karak is making his way, I tell him to engage Brother Jonas in preparing food, preparing the meals.
She sits back and she says, "What was that?"
What was what?
Behind that door.
It was a chimera, and I think an undead one.
He looks over at Kethrar. "I sense no aura of undeath." Looks over at you. Is that what burned your friend? You?
Yes.
Cathar, give him one of the salves. Reaches down, its hand trembling as it reaches into one of its leather pouches. Pulls out this, looks like a gourd that's been glued together around the sides with a hole punched out of the top of it. A little bit of wax has been put over top of it, and he hands it to you. Just take off the wax and drink of it. It should heal part of your injuries. If you really share our blood, of course. If not, it might be deadly.
Forgive me, share your blood?
She leans forward and sniffs at your neck, has to lean down a little bit for it. I smell a shared blood.
I don't hesitate at all. As soon as she says that, I drink it.
Okay, you drink it. It's like hard liquor at first. It takes a second to get used to because it burns a little bit and it's really strong. But when you drink out of it, you get used to it pretty fast, and it's actually pretty good. And you can feel tingling all up and down your back where you've been burned.
Okay.
See, she looks over at Cathar. It is as I said. I did not doubt you.
What can I do for you, Verhak?
That is why we have come to you. We have watched you for some time, you see. Little happens in these mountains of which the Knoll folk do not know. She looks around this place, in the hallways. You have a fortress here, she says.
I have a temple.
It must be a human word for fortress, she says, looking around it.
Do I look human to you?
He means holy place, my queen. This is sacred to your gods, then.
I don't have any gods. And you're a queen?
I am. I am the Carrion Queen. I am the Raven Caller. I am Verthas, she says. Looking down at you, just kind of with this undimmed ferocity in her eyes. She says, I am the Queen of the Ghostwalker tribe. She says, and we have great need of your strength.
And you thought you would just show up here armed, weapons drawn, unannounced, and heal my people?
No. I would come to you as one warrior comes to another.
So it's allies you need.
She looks over at Verthas, at Cathar. He goes, he means brothers and sisters, my queen. You realize that the word allies does not translate in Nolish.
Good.
She nods. Yes, then. Let us speak in comfort.
And I lead them to the, what we've kind of set up as an eating area table. I'm assuming we can put something together there.
You see the one that was laying there originally. He's still over by that pillar. And as you're looking closer at him, his leg is clearly broken. He's laying there, can't move. The other one that was down there that had spoken to her that she hit in the back of the head, he's also by one of the other pillars, but he is doing absolutely nothing to help that other Knoll.
I kneel down to speak with the Alpha. of the Flame Wolves.
The Flame Wolf looks over at you.
I would ask that you accompany me to this meal. It's a request, not an order.
You can do what you wish now. There are but two of us.
Soon there will be more.
Rid of us, you can do this now with ease.
My brother, if I wished to be rid of you, I could have done it already. Come with me. Let us feast. I need someone I can trust while these strangers are in our home.
The one that with the scythe is trying to follow what you're saying. What language are you speaking in, by the way?
Oh, ancient Greek.
Mm-hmm. It's trying to follow it, and you hear Verthas in Knoll. What does he say? I don't know, my queen. He speaks in a language foreign to me. Ah, what good are you then? She just snarls a bit when you're done with your conversation. You start leading them down the hallway. The fortress is impressive. It is made of clean, good stone. It would make a fine lair, Verthas says.
Is that what you've come to request?
No. It is just an observation. She looks around herself and she looks at you and she says, you share our blood. You know then that everything is war.
I know my way
Everything you
around
see
war.
is war. Everything that exists is war.
Interesting.
She looks around at the pillars. Just kind of musing. It's occurring to you that the Knoll point of view is everything is initially viewed as how it would relate to combat.
Okay.
So you get to the main room, to the area in which I imagine this feast is going to happen in the main temple area. You get there, and the rest of the group is there, and they're assembling fruits and meats and things like that. The alpha looks at you and says, I will get my mate and come back in a moment.
Please do.
The wolf burns, Verthas says and looks at you. We have legends of such creatures. I am impressed that you managed to tame one. She walks in the room, and they're all putting out all this spread on the table. She's looking around at the birds and the bees and the hummingbirds, and she looks confused. Kethrar, this is a holy place, my queen. Is it one of the fleshling's soft gods? Yes and no. This is a place worthy of some derision, yes, but respect at the same time. Interesting.
Please, sit.
They all sit down. She looks over at Karak. She says, you may serve me. And she looks over at him while he's getting ready to put out food and things. Kethrar nods, sits down. He looks over at you. My queen, may I speak to the wild knight? She nods.
How do you know this name?
It came to my queen in a vision.
This name was given to me by a faithful of Zanye.
She looks over at him. What is a Zanye?
Zanye is a goddess of the Baklunish, of balance.
A goddess. A different god. Gods meddle in everything. Berthar says. And yet they will not come to our aid, not in our hour of need. I spit on the gods. She
Perhaps
says,
you hold the gods as distant legends instead of friends.
Wildlight, know this. Your name came to my queen in a vision, in a dream. I have since read the bones, read the patterns of the birds, and they led us to your home. Here we would find allies to save our tribe, such that it is. We have come to you as your word allies.
Allies. Yes, brothers and sisters.
He nods. He looks over at Verthas, just kind of nods. My queen is prepared to receive your wisdom.
In regards to what?
Know this, human. As I said, I am Verthas. I am the caller to ravens. They call me this because when I am on the battlefield, the carrion birds flock to my side to feed, because they know that where I go, death comes with me. My tribe is known as the Ghost Walkers. They have called us that because we can move through the mountains as spirits, never seen, never heard, until we wish our presence to be known. Once we were numerous, many, strong tribe, but we have been hunted. There is another tribe, kind of makes a face like she almost doesn't want to say the name. She's so disgusted by it. She goes, this would be the Pale Circle. Their king's name is Harkad the White-Handed. He's fierce. I give him that much respect. This is Kethra Cackles to Ghosts, she says, looking over at her. He is the shaman to our tribe. You met out there, Garvaz. He is my general, the Prince of Slaughter. And Zerget, who has proven himself again unworthy of a name. She spits on the ground. I beg your forgiveness, Wildlight, for bringing such a weak one before you to represent our tribe.
Granted.
She nods. Carrion Queen needs your assistance. You have strength. I have seen that you could add your strength to ours. You bear the Wildlight, after all.
What is this Wildlight you speak of? It's just a name.
She looks over at Kethrar. No. It is no coincidence that you have this name, Ali. He nods. He says, "This is something within. The fire that burns in the eyes of a knoll is known as the Wildlight. You can see it in my queen, can you not? You can see it in your war, can you not? And you notice that same green glow.
It could be, as you say, that I possess the blood of your people. But my mother was a gray elf, ancient and powerful. Perhaps my light comes from her."
Impossible, he says. You do not understand. The elves, they have spirits, you see. Ghosts within them. They do not have fire that burns. And as the wolves from outside walk in, the two flame wolves, cannot control fire, you hear the wolf say, the hellhound. He says, just echoing the same thing he told you before. It burns inside of all of us.
In ancient Greek, I address the flame wolves and say, please sit next to me.
The wolf mate curls up next to where you are, burning on the ground. You can just feel her heat next to you. Doesn't say anything, just kind of puts her head down on her paws. Almost like she's sad. The other wolf, or I should say the other hellhound, stands kind of behind and over top of her, like to defend her. Vrithaz looks at you and she says, "It is as I saw. Burning wolves. Wolves of wild light." She looks down at Monty, looks over at you, and the alpha of them all.
If you have truly had a vision of me, then you know that I don't give aid without some sort of compensation.
You would be compensated.
Really? How so?
Because, she looks over at Cathar, you will be silent of what comes next, Cathar, or cackles to ghosts will join the ghosts to whom he laughs. Not, of course, my queen. She looks at you. My folk are a proud folk. They will not accept your aid. Not without proof that you are among our tribe. She nods. By joining our tribe, you have the rights to add our strength to yours. My vision was not only of aid to be given us, but to be given you as well, she says.
And so an arrangement must be made.
You will come to our clan home, she says. In our great temple, you will make war with 2 of my warriors.
Will I?
When you defeat them, and defeat them you will, we will be bonded as one tribe. She looks at you. Together, we will smash the pale circle and scatter them like the wind. We will take those survivors and add them to our strengths, and you will have an army. For you will need one. A little bit of a laughter. That chittering hyena laughter at the bottom of her throat.
Well, we too here at this temple have our own traditions, and if an alliance is to be made, there will be another.
She looks over at Kethrar. Friends and brothers. She nods. Please continue. Some of your words I do not understand.
Well, just as you intend to challenge me with 2 of your warriors, I will challenge 2 of your warriors.
A challenge to be made here and then there?
A challenge to be made here.
She looks over at Kethrar.
Not 2. As many warriors as you wish to complete the challenge I set before you.
Only 2, she says. 2 will be necessary. She looks over at Kethrar. Kethrar looks at you and says, "It is unwise for us to leave the caves now. Come to visit our home and you will understand, human."
Okay. And so the challenge at your temple is to be completed when?
As soon as possible.
And that is when the
Soon,
challenge...
this place will be surrounded in war, she says. And if you wish to survive it, to have us at your side will be necessary.
So I ask that you choose which warriors of yours will face my trial.
She looks over at Kethrar. I would say I would offer Zegert after I healed his leg, and Ragzit. She nods. What of Iluka? No, not Iluka.
When you're ready, then.
She nods. I will call them. But you will first come to our home to see what we wish you to see. The challenge will be made directly afterwards, once we gather our tribe. All will wish to watch this with their own eyes so that you can command their respect.
Well, I can't command the respect of my own people if the challenge is not met here at the temple before I come.
It will be met here at the temple. It is as you say. It is wise what Cackles to Ghosts has said. You should see our home to understand fully what it is of which I speak.
As long as your warriors will complete a trial here in the temple, I agree.
And so do I. She reaches over her hand, and she puts out this huge gnollish paw out towards yours.
I accept it.
You try and shake it, and it's not. You can tell she looks like a little confused, like when you're trying to do a soul shake, and not everybody's on the same page. Kethrar, if I may, human, you grasp the arm like this. It kind of wraps around the arm one time.
I would request, no, I would dictate that you no longer refer to me as human.
Indeed.
I have a name.
And that is?
Rainmar the Wildlight.
She looks over at Kethrar. Kethrar, make it known to our folk that he is to be addressed as Rainmar the Wildlight. And
I hope so.
Speak of a different name until the trial. She looks at him. He nods. Come, Rainmar the Wildlight. There is much for you to see. She stands up from the table. She looks over at you. Come. Bring as many or as few as you wish.
She wants to go. She wants to go to their temple now.
Yep, right now. The rest of the guys are looking at you like, "Hey, thanks, Wily Hobbit. We really appreciate it." The rest of them are looking at you and they're like, the guys are around the table are looking at you and they're saying, Raymar, I mean, we just got our asses handed to us in that room. I don't know if I'm ready to go anywhere.
You're not going anywhere.
Karak nods. He goes, we must go now. Someone must go now. To show otherwise is to show weakness in front of her. I will go.
I kneel down to the Flame Wolves.
And the Flame Wolf, before you even say that, the Flame Wolf says, I will go. And breathes fire out of the corner of its mouth.
I need you here to defend the temple in my absence.
Eyes kind of glow red a little bit for just a moment. Very well, then.
Watch over Brother Jonas. He is not himself.
Who's going with you? Norik says, I'm going. Screw this. He kind of stands up. Goes, I'm sore, but I'll make it.
Oh, you're making the decisions around here all of a sudden? Are you in charge? Because I thought that...
No. I'm sorry.
I'm going to go ahead and switch to Ancient Greek. I was pretty sure that I was in charge. But if you're in charge...
No. You're
going to fight the trial.
I way overstepped my bounds. I'm sorry. I got caught up.
It's okay, brother. There's nobody I'd rather have with me. The rest of you remain here.
Okay. So you get up, and you leave. You start to follow the gnolls. The gnolls get to the front of the temple. And Vraz is looking back at you. She says, Zergit will stay here with his broken leg, and he will not eat until we return. Perhaps you will learn something from this moment, She looks down at him. You are lucky, she leans down. He smiles upon you right now. Normally, she says, you would decorate my den. She looks over at the other, at Garvaz, the one that's supposedly her general. Garvaz, Rainmar will be coming with us. This is Rainmar the Wildlight. You will address him by no other name.
I tell Brother Karak to confer with Asperion in my absence.
Brother Karak nods. Kethrar looks over at you and says, please come with us. There's something you must see. Verthraz starts walking up the stairs. Verthraz looks over at you. Kethrar looks at you and says, in common, you must forgive my queen's ways. She adheres to the old ways very closely, and we have suffered much.
There's nothing to forgive. I have a great interest in the old ways.
He nods. He says, you will have a chance to see them with your own eyes soon. He says, what you are about to see is a demonstration of the old ways in its most visceral form. He walks with you. You, Verthraz, Garvaz, Kethrar, and Norik, you all walk about, probably about 5 miles through the mountains together. These guys are just, as they said, these ghost walkers. This tribe can move through this snow and this mountains and basically leave no trace whatsoever.
Okay.
Norik is pointing out to you, this is why I couldn't tell who they were or what they were. These guys are good at what they do. He nods. He says, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little nervous going into a gnoll den.
Okay.
But
you don't think I can handle it?
No, it's not that. I don't know if I can handle it. Soon enough, they lead you to this cave, this mountainside cave. Fetid, rank smell coming forth from it. This is our home. As you get there, all around the cave, around these rock formations, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of crows there. And all staring at you.
Okay.
This is why they call my queen the Raven Caller. Kethrar says, I will lead you into our home. Kethrar says, mind the ground here and the snare there. This ball right here is trapped. He's pointing them out as you walk through. Leads you through all these traps. Winding, descending down into this lair. Every once in a while you hear this echoing of this eerie laughter almost dead dark in here. Finally, you open up into a large. Looks like it might have been actually a finished building at one point in time, but it's been buried underneath rocks or whatever. It's been consumed by the mountain almost.
Okay.
And in it, it's about it's huge open area. It's about 120 by 120. And in it, all around the walls, you see these bedrolls have been made. You see painted on the walls are like pictoglyphs of different creatures and gnolls and things like that. It looks like maybe history or whatever. In total, around this room, along with Cathrar and Vithraz, there are a total of 11 people in there.
Okay.
Vithraz stops and turns around and looks at you. She takes out her flail and points over at this empty bedroll, small empty bedroll, it's like a little nest that's been made. She points at another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. By all of these are these female gnolls who just kind of stare at you. There's little eyes burning into the darkness, staring at you, sniffing into the air. Do you understand, human?
Who is this that said that to me?
Vithraz.
I don't think I do.
Cathrar kind of nods, looks over, he says, once those were all where our young slept. The pale circle came in the night when we hunted, slaughtered our hunters out in the mountains. But when they came here, while we fought, they did not kill the women. They killed our young instead. And so we would die. All of us would die. This is how they would destroy our tribe. Vithraz's eyes are burning in anger. Just this barely controlled rage. And now you understand, Raymar the Wild Light, why I came to the home of a human in a temple of gods that are not our own. Why I was driven to such a length. Even by the standards of our folk, this is something that must be repaid in blood. Cathrar looks over at you and says, we will die in less than a year.
Wasting no time whatsoever. I just do a quick assessment of the room, of everybody in the tribe. You said there's 11 total tribe members?
There are 13 in total, counting the two that are over at your temple right now, that they left.
11 present.
11
okay.
Present.
Um,
Only one of them appears to be a warrior, and is a very tall, powerful-looking female gnoll with a triple flail that looks a lot like Vithraz to you.
Vithaz, if I may. What is the appropriate way to begin the challenge?
You hear murmurs around the walls. Silence. Dead silence. We have come to an agreement. This human is Raynmar the Wild Light, and he and his looks over at Cathrar. Alice, my queen. Alice. will be join their strengths to ours. We will not, as is tradition, hold the challenge here in our temple. We have agreed to hold it in theirs as a show of strength. We do not need to fear their treachery, for we are strong. We are the Ghost Walkers.
That wasn't actually what I meant when I said that, but...
she's got to sell it to her people.
No, what I meant was I would go there to do their challenge as long as they agreed to do a challenge.
Okay, I got it. I got it now. Okay. She says, he will commit to the challenge here, and then we will go as one tribe to witness the second challenge there at his home. She looks around. Nods. Looks over at you, Rainmar. She says, Rainmar the Wildlight, I name as representatives of our tribe, Ragust and Zegt. She says and points at two gnolls. Take up your arms, you will fight the Wildlight. His brother looks over at Norik. Will stay his hand and remain at my side during the fight.
I give Norik the nod to confirm that.
Mother, the big gnoll at the back says. She looks at her. Nothing. Just nods. Jeremy, as you can see on the screen that just popped up, you are probably about maybe 15 feet inside of this area. And you can see Zergit and Ragas on the screen in front of you.
Yep.
That is the layout of the area. And you can see behind them the rest of the important gnolls that have been named inside of the room, which I'm kind of arcing over with my mouse back and forth. And when we begin with our next episode of the first Betrayal, your next solo mission, we're going to find out exactly what happens at this particular trial. As all of you can see that are watching on Twitch right now, that's our game map up in the top corner. You're seeing the lair of the Ghost Walkers, the tribe of gnolls that Rainmar will be confronting. The bottom of Rainmar's screen, you'll see running across there are his statistics, and you can see the icon that will represent him on the screen. When we begin with our next episode for him, you will see how the combat actually plays out between Rainmar and the remaining members of the Ghost Walker tribe. And that's where I'm going to leave it off for the evening, Rainmar. That was pretty freaking cool. I thought you did that you did a really good job of navigating that, and the whole way with the Chimera, what happened.
Thanks, man. That was cool. That was really cool. I like that. I think my favorite part of the Chimera was that.
Yeah, Mark. Next time.
The Chimera was a little different than I expected, which was really cool.
Uh-huh.
And I like the fact that it wasn't a cut and dry combat.
No, it was not.
It was sketchy, and there was, we ended up kind of retreating out, and
yeah,
so
I like that too, because I think that it's important to remember this is how it should work. I mean, it's very rarely going to be so neat, such a neat tie-up at the end.
Yeah, I like that. I love the way that turned out. I thought that was super cool.
I agree with that. I think the way that the relationship between you and the Firewolves, the way that those turned out, is pretty interesting too.
That's turned out to be a cool part of the whole thing. And what I dig about that too is it's taken about 5 episodes to get that thing developed.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well,
That's
they
cool.
were very mistrustful of humans based on the way that, for all the good things that these Greeks, these travelers have done, they weren't very good with the firewolves. They looked at them as guardians more than as allies or anything, and much to the detriment of their mutual relationship.
Yeah.
Thanks again so much for everybody that tuned in tonight. Thanks for the people that ended up following us or subscribing. I really appreciate that. It really helps us continue on. Not only does it show that that what we're doing here is cool and it's worthwhile, but it shows my players and everybody that that they're doing a great job as well as Casl Entertainment. So we really appreciate your support. As we said, the next episode, we're going to see if Rainmar is going to get himself some new allies. But I'm going to drop this on you, Rainmar, before we leave for the evening.
Okay.
Faraz found this all out in a vision. Okay? You can assume that that vision was given to her by their gods. All right?
Yeah.
Once again, you're seeing the hands of the gods are subtly influencing events here.
Yeah.
No coincidence.
Sure.
No coincidence. One might go so far as to say that battle lines are being drawn.
For sure. Which begs the question, did I see the symbol of Yanogu in there?
Yes, you did.
Okay. That was my...
Yeah.
Okay.
You did. That was the triple flail that formed the Y.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Very cool.
Yeah.
So
this is going to make for some strange bedfellows. Inigo is not a good guy.
Yeah, but Raymar's approach to this is not necessarily intolerant.
Right, exactly. So, like I said, there's going to be some strange bedfellows made out of this.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sign off for the evening. Rainmar, thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. I'm Carlos A.S. Lysing, Dungeon Master of the first Betrayal campaign. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a good night.